Number 25. Bruce Lee, martial artist. Overall rank, 229. Kung Fu superstar Bruce Lee was more than just a martial artist, more than just an actor and entertainer. He was a pioneer who trained in both striking and grappling, and in standing and ground fighting in an era when most martial artists only focused on one area. He was the first to use modern progressive training methods, didn't rely on tradition, and emphasized physical fitness, which was not always common in the martial arts community. Number 24. George Washington, U.S. President. Overall rank, 190. George Washington, considered by historians to be one of the most significant and prominent American figures in history, was the first president of the United States and one of its founding fathers. He was also the commander-in-chief of the Continental Army during the American Revolutionary War and contributed the most to the country's freedom, perhaps except for Thomas Jefferson, who penned the Declaration of Independence. He was also one of the men who helped replace the outdated Articles of Confederation with the Constitution, which remains the supreme law of the nation. According to MIT, he's the most influential and famous American president, even though his general rank here is quite disappointing. Number 23. Walt Disney, business. Overall rank, 168. We have no doubt that if this list's standard and measure of greatness was children's love from around the world, then Walt Disney would have the top spot. The man who gave birth to some of the most adored cartoon characters in all of animation, including Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck, is the most influential and effective business person of all time, and we can't argue much with their logic on this one. Number 22. Louis Pasteur, chemist. Overall rank, 146. His overall rank is quite disappointing, especially if one takes into account his immense contributions to humankind and how his remarkable discoveries have prevented illness and saved the lives of millions since his day. But in a society that values wealth, political power, entertainment and technology more than science and its life-altering breakthroughs, the father of microbiology is ranked only at number 146. Even though he gets the nod as the most influential chemist in history, he is best remembered for inventing the process of pasteurization that is named after him and has helped billions of babies around the world to grow up healthy by drinking fresh milk without bacteria. Number 21. Marilyn Monroe, actress. Overall rank, 141. Marilyn Monroe is widely considered to be the most famous sex symbol in the world and one of the very first globally known female celebrities in history. Her legacy and incomparable influence on the entertainment world can be traced to the simple fact that a long list of female celebrities have tried to imitate or impersonate her look and sex appeal. Whether in photos, TV shows, or music videos, these women, including Madonna, Britney Spears, Beyoncé, Christina Aguilera, Lindsay Lohan, Scarlett Johansson, Paris Hilton, and Jennifer Lopez, to name just a few, cannot hold a candle to the charm and personality of the original. Number 20. Elvis Presley, singer. Overall rank, 117. Elvis, the king of rock and roll, is, according to the MIT study and numerous others, the most famous and influential singer of all time. We might add that he's also the biggest selling solo artist in history, with an estimated sales of over 1 billion records according to his record company. A recent poll by a Japanese magazine showed that Elvis is the most popular American personality of all time in Japan, ahead of presidents, generals, businessmen, social activists, and other entertainers, representative of his immense popularity and influence around the globe. Number 19. Imhotep, architect. Overall rank, 116. Imhotep was an Egyptian polymath who excelled in various fields of human activity, particularly architecture and engineering. He was the designer and architect of the astonishing Pyramid of Djoser, which was built in the 27th century BCE for the burial of Pharaoh Djoser. According to available archaeological findings, this is the very first Egyptian pyramid and stood 62 meters or 203 feet when first built, an incredible high architectural creation for its time and after. Number 18. Che Guevara, social activist. Overall rank, number 72. The handsome Argentine doctor with an aristocratic heritage who ended up a revolutionary, a guerrilla leader, a diplomat, Fidel Castro's right-hand man, and a dominant figure in the United Party of the Cuban Socialist Revolution, ranks ahead of other towering activists such as Mahatma Gandhi and Martin Luther King Jr. due to his immense popularity among teenagers and students around the world. His incredibly famous photo, Guerrillero Heroico, which appears on this list, has been cited by the Maryland Institute College of Art and Time magazine as the most famous photograph in the world, and has simultaneously made Che Guevara a global symbol of rebellion and popular culture. A strange combination indeed. Number 17. Charles Darwin, biologist. Overall rank, 71. Charles Darwin was an English polymath who studied several sciences during his lifetime, but it was his theory of evolution by natural selection, the foundation of modern evolutionary studies, which gave him the legacy of being one of history's most famous scientists ever. Darwin was an agnostic, a fact that had a pivotal influence on his thinking, and he shocked the strict religious Victorian society of his day by suggesting a completely different theory from that of the Bible, creationism in Genesis, noting that animals and humans share a common ancestry. Number 16. Nefertiti, companion. Overall rank, 51. Way before Eleanor Roosevelt, Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis, Rosalind Carter, Hillary Clinton, and Michelle Obama, there was Nefertiti. Make no mistake, Nefertiti was a queen consort, which means that she was the wife of a reigning king. And so she can't be compared with the likes of Cleopatra, Elizabeth I of England, and the Byzantine Empress Irene of Athens. She was what we would define today as a first lady. Number 15. Sigmund Freud, psychologist. Overall rank, number 49. Sigmund Freud was a famous Austrian neurologist, the founding father of psychoanalysis, and without question the most famous figure of the academic and applied discipline of psychology. Despite the fact that some of his theories were really controversial, especially his obsession with the Oedipus complex, which many historians speculate derived from his own feelings of desire for his mother and jealousy and anger toward his father. Many of his psychological and psychotherapeutic views and associated techniques remain popular within psychotherapy and general psychiatry to this day. Number 14. Hippocrates, physician. Overall rank, 48. Hippocrates was an ancient Greek physician who's widely considered to be the father of Western medicine and the one who established medicine as a profession. He was the founder of the famous Hippocratic School of Medicine that helped to revolutionize medicine in the ancient world. Hippocrates laid the foundation for modern medicine with his methods and teachings, groundbreaking and radical for his time, while his immense influence can be traced to the oath that every doctor, nurse, and physician has been taken all over the world. Number 13. Herodotus, historian. Overall rank, number 32. The ancient Greek historian from Halicarnassus was the first historian to gather together his materials consistently and methodically, and then to organize and report them in a historiographical narrative. For this reason, he is regarded as the father of history and the one who elevated history as a subject to a social science. Even if you're not a fan of history, you should still be thankful to Herodotus for being the man who investigated and recorded the Greco-Persian Wars in his masterpiece, The Histories, which heavily inspired Frank Miller and Zack Snyder to produce one of the best graphic novels and war films, respectively, in contemporary history, 300. Number 12. Galileo Galilei, astronomer. Overall rank, 31. They called him the father of modern science, the father of modern physics, and ultimately the father of modern observational astronomy. But Galileo Galilei was more than just a great scientist and astronomer. He was the rebel. He was the one who popularized the theory of many ancient Greek thinkers and scientists such as Philolaus, Aristarchus of Samos, and Hypatia, that the Earth revolves around a relatively stationary sun at the center of the solar system, which put him in serious trouble because the irrational authority of the papacy and the Roman Catholic Church persecuted him and tried him for his radical and satanic ideas and teachings. He is best remembered for saying one of the most iconic quotes in history during his trial, "And yet it moves," referring to the Earth, of course. Number 11. Christopher Columbus, explorer. Overall rank, 24. To some people, Christopher Columbus is a hero, the greatest explorer who ever lived, and the major figure who started the European colonization of the New World, while other people consider him nothing but an invader who spread the Christian religion to the indigenous tribes of America at any cost. One way or another, Columbus is widely regarded as the founder of what we know and define today as the United States of America, and his influence on history, good or bad, is unquestionable since he had the most significant role in the European exploration, conquest, and colonization of America. Number 10. Isaac Newton, physicist. Overall rank, 22. Sir Isaac Newton has surpassed Albert Einstein as the most influential physicist of all time, outranking him by one place. the great English scientist is globally considered the key figure in the scientific revolution, and his revolutionary scientific discoveries influenced many other great scientists, including Einstein. Most experts and historians agree that his book, Mathematical Principles of Natural Philosophy, laid the foundation for classical mechanics and also shares credit with Gottfried Leibniz for inventing calculus. Number 9. Michelangelo, painter. Overall rank, 19. Even though most people consider Michelangelo just a painter, the truth is that the second most influential artist of the Renaissance behind Leonardo da Vinci was also an excellent sculptor and architect with the ultimate masterpiece of Renaissance sculpture, David, to his name. However, most of us know him as one of the greatest painters who ever lived, if not the greatest, and rightfully, when one considers that the Sistine Chapel ceiling, the crucifixion of St. Peter, and the conversion of Saul, among other masterpieces, are his creations. Number 8. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, composer. Overall rank, 16. The most famous child prodigy in history is also, according to MIT research, the most influential and popular composer in history. He started making music and composing at the age of 5, and by the time of his death, only 13 years later, he already composed over 600 works. His compositions continue to influence Western music even today, and other great composers of the classical period, Joseph Haydn, wrote that posterity will not see such a talent again for 100 years. A false statement after all, since posterity hadn't seen such a talent for over 220 years. Number 7. Archimedes, mathematician. Overall rank, 11. Archimedes was a great mathematician and inventor among other things, who is rightfully considered one of the most brilliant minds of all time and the godfather of invention. Number 6. Homer, writer. Overall rank, 9. The immense influence and impact of Homer on the world can be traced to the simple fact that his two masterpieces, the Iliad and the Odyssey, have been read, studied, and spread by countless millions of people throughout the centuries in schools, universities, and Hollywood films and TV shows. The ancient Greek poetic giant who made the immortal figures Achilles, Paris, and Odysseus famous through his epics ranks ahead of William Shakespeare and Dante Alighieri as the greatest writer who ever lived, according to MIT. Number 5. Julius Caesar, politician. Overall rank, 8. Julius Caesar was, according to most historians and political analysts, the most important figure in Roman history. He was a great strategist and general, but also a charismatic politician who changed the form of government in Rome, while his conquests laid the foundation for the development of European and Western culture. Although he was of aristocratic origin, he fought for the lowest social classes and the poor of Rome, which was the main reason behind his assassination. Number 4. Leonardo da Vinci, inventor. Overall rank, 6. Leonardo da Vinci's name is equated with genius and the cultural movement of the Renaissance, from where he got the nickname Renaissance Man. However, it's really hard to define Da Vinci's actual profession since he mastered way too many during his time. From sculpture to painting, architecture to music, mathematics to anatomy and engineering, among others. He was without a doubt the most diversely talented man of his time, and many historians believe that a mind and personality like his comes only once every 1,000 years. Number 3. Alexander the Great, military personnel. Overall rank, number 5. Alexander the Great is without a doubt one of the greatest military generals who ever lived, and his empire was one of the biggest the ancient world ever knew. He remained undefeated on the battlefield until his death, and he was the man who spread Greek culture and civilization to the biggest part of the then known world. He founded over 20 cities which were named after him, most notably Alexandria in Egypt, and he is one of the very few human beings who managed to start and mark a whole era of human history. Number 2. Jesus Christ, religious figure. Overall rank, number 3. Jesus Christ is not the most influential or popular figure in history according to MIT, but with a global population of over 7 billion, only 2 billion of which are Christian, this shouldn't surprise us. Still, Jesus is the most famous